You're listening to The Geek Awakens with Mitch,
Matt,
Tabitha,
and Lydia.
Hey everybody, Mitch here with a special edition of The Geek Awakens. Tonight, I've got some interviews from our trip to Chicago TARDIS that we took back at the end of November. Chicago TARDIS, if you don't know, is the Midwest's largest Doctor Who-centric convention. Couple episodes back, there was an artist alley with Taylor Deatherage, who works with Chicago TARDIS. For more information on what Chicago TARDIS just has in general, check out that episode. If I remember to, I'll put the link in the description for you. So this past year, this was our first time going to Chicago TARDIS. I've wanted to go pretty much ever since I've been a Doctor Who fan, but it takes place the weekend immediately following Thanksgiving every year, and so it's just one of those things where it never really lined up. But this year we made it happen, and I was so glad that we did. Got to do a lot of really cool things, which I'll kind of talk about in between interviews. And it just all around was just a really, really fun time. That said, our first interview is with the DePaul University Doctor Who Club. It's a group of students from DePaul University who get together and geek out over Doctor Who. They do a lot of watch parties. They did also a Doctor Who Jeopardy, which, as you'll hear in the interview, I was very, very jealous of. So, take a listen. I'm here with members of the DePaul University Doctor Who Club. Everybody, how's your con going so far?
going great.
Awesome. So, real quick, go down the line, tell us your name, and then also, it's a mandatory question this weekend. Who is your doctor?
All right, I'm Sky, and my doctor, 15, obviously.
My name's Katie, and my doctor is the 5th Doctor, represent.
Nice.
I'm Melanie, and I can't decide between 10 and 13.
I'm Scarlett, and mine is probably 11.
I'm Michael, and mine's probably either 4 or 12.
I'm Nelson, and mine's probably 3.
Excellent. Got a lot of classic Who rep. That's awesome. So tell us a little bit about what the Doctor Who Club does.
Okay, well, I'll just sum up really quickly. So mostly what we do is, honestly, we watch Doctor Who, and we have long conversations about it, really interesting conversations. And we go to cons. We have a little fun at cons, and we've been doing a few events. If anyone else wants to say anything.
Yeah, we do a panel at the con. We've done it several times here. We're doing one, I think, for the first time at Galley in February. Sky planned us a Doctor Who Jeopardy night, which was really fun and caused a lot of argument, but in the best way. We have a booth at our general what's it called? The place where all the clubs go for college. The club fair. Yeah, the involvement fair. Yeah. And we play games there. We invite people in. We're like, hey, do you like Doctor Who? And they're like, I don't know what Doctor Who is. And well, come and find out what Doctor Who is, and we can invite you in too. We've actually converted a couple of fans that way. Nice. It's really fun.
Nice. As any good Whovian should, right?
Yes.
So you mentioned that that you've got a panel this weekend. Tell us a little bit of what that panel's about.
All right, so we decided to do, I originally was Doctor Who and race, but then we broadened it to Doctor Who and how they address representation and diversity, because we're a very diverse club. We have a lot of voices in our club, and so we figured we're just gonna talk about representation in Doctor Who and what we think about it. Is it good? Is it bad? How do they address it? How do certain showrunners address it? Stuff like that. Anyone else have anything to say about the panel? I think you nailed it. Yeah, I think that's
Okay, excellent. And then just my last question for you guys. How long has this club been going on?
you can take that.
I will take this one. I am the one of the founding members here. I think the only one present. The club has been going for 10 years now.
Wow.
We just celebrated our 10-year party this summer at the Professor Booth's house. So we had a
Nice.
little barbecue in the summer now. But yeah, it's 10 years. Crazy. So we survived the COVID. We did Zoom meetings. We managed to keep club attendance alive, and it's spiking back up. I think we're getting a lot more people, so pretty thrilled, honestly.
Yeah, that's excellent. So the DePaul University Doctor Who Club, next time you guys have a Doctor Who Jeopardy, I'd like an invitation because that sounds amazing. But enjoy the rest of your con.
Thank you. You too.
As with any con, one of the things that I enjoy most is going through Artist Alley and seeing a lot of the different art and crafts and things that, artists create. And they do it, not just for a living, but they do it a lot of times because they are in love with the same fandoms that you are. There were a lot of really, really cool vendors putting out a lot of really cool things. It was kind of tough to not buy literally everything for myself, but I refrained. But maybe next year, who knows? My next interview is with Ann Hunter from Everything's Shiny Creations. She does a lot of jewelry, keychains. She also has some enamel pins, things like that. Really, really, really cool stuff. There was one because when Chicago TARDIS was going on, people were still all about Wicked. And if you aren't a Whovian quite like me, then you might not know, but there's kind of a in-joke right now where gravity has been replaced with mavity. So there was this little this piece of art that said defying mavity. I got a huge kick out of it. Of course, by the time I wanted to buy one, it was sold out. So is what is. Check out this interview with Ann.
I'm here with Ann Hunter from Everything Shiny Creations. Ann, how's your con going so far?
Doing great, having a great time.
Awesome. So tell us about some of the stuff you make.
So I do hand-stamped jewelry and accessories, gamer gear, things like that. So the stamping, each letter will have its own die, and then you hammer it into the metal. So that's most of what I do. So each letter gets done by itself. Lots of patience, but it's very good stress relief. So yeah, I do the ornaments. I have my cuff bracelets. Those are usually my bigger sellers. I do the wrap bracelets too. And I've kind of branched out into the dice jars and all kinds of fun things like that too.
Awesome. So when you're hand stamping, how long of a process is that?
So it kind of depends. The short phrases, I can do those pretty quickly. And then I have some other ones, like the really long phrases. They can take me anywhere from, 10 to 15 minutes on just one of the pieces. Like the ornaments, there's a new ornament I'm still finishing off, hasn't gotten done yet, that has the Jodie's quote with "Goodbyes are only hard because what came before was so special." It's a very long plate. It's a lot of words, a lot of letters. So those ones have taken me quite a bit of time. But yeah, like the short ones, like if I do a Bad Wolf one, I can do that pretty quick. Nice. So it kind of varies.
Yeah. No, I'm already here for that Jodie one.
Yes.
Thanks for reminding me of that quote. Now
Yes.
I'm going to go cry.
Yeah, exactly. I about did myself. So, but I should have those out later this afternoon. So if you want to come by and take a look.
Excellent. So, you don't just have Doctor Who stuff. You've got stuff from other fandoms. Mm-hmm. Is there a fandom that you haven't done yet that you're you really want to do?
There's lots of them, yes. So the first one I started with, well, not started with, I started with a lot of them, but obviously everything's shiny. I'm a Firefly fan, so you got to start there. But I really like some of the, I think it's mostly like the newer ones that I haven't gotten a chance to do a lot for. So I have a very long list of things I need to watch, and I've been told that I need to watch. So, but I do try to be an equal opportunity fandom. So I have a lot of them, at least one piece or two here and there. So
Excellent. So because we are at a Doctor Who convention, who's your doctor?
mm, I'm a 10. I'm a tenant, but I do have a very special love for Matt Smith too, because he's just so amazing in love.
Absolutely. So how can people find you online?
Online, I have my website. It's everythingshinycreations.com. I'm also primarily on Facebook, but I do have Instagram and a very, very small TikTok right now. So I'm there too, and I have an Etsy shop as well.
Awesome. Props to you for even knowing how to do TikTok.
I only barely know how to TikTok.
It's still more than me. So, Ann Hunter, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us. Enjoy the rest of the con.
Great, thank you.
Of course, what is a convention without panels? There were a lot of fun panels with Chicago TARDIS. Obviously, most of them were themed around Doctor Who. We got to listen to a live audio commentary of Spyfall Part 1. So, for most Whovians will probably remember that episode. It was during 13's time, and that's when we met Sacha Dhawan's version of the Master. Part 1 at the very end, spoiler alert, he is revealed to be the Master. So it was really cool to see, his reactions, like in real time. He had even mentioned a couple of times how he hadn't seen this episode for a long time. So it was, cool for him to kind of go into this with like fresh eyes. There were also, got to hear him speak again, not only by himself, but also alongside Joe Martin, who is the fugitive doctor. They were the two stars from 13's era, so it was really cool to, hear them talk. One of my favorite panels, though, was a fireside chat with Sylvester McCoy, who is the 7th Doctor, as well as Sophie Aldred, who played one of Seven's companions named Ace. Got to meet her as well. It was really cool. She is, even though I haven't watched a ton of Classic Who, Ace is one of my favorite companions, whether it's classic series or modern series. But anyway, so their fireside chat, it was just the two of them just talking about whatever. It was so funny. And at one point, they were taking questions from the audience. And, you've got Sylvester McCoy. Normally with audience questions, the audience will line up, behind a microphone. But Sylvester is like, nah, I'm not doing that. He walked around the panel hall and, was like going to the person. Was really cool to see. It was really funny too. It was great. So my next interview was maybe one of my scariest. Chicago TARDIS has what they call Dalek Alley. So it's where people who, build robotics, they'll build Daleks and Dalek adjacent, robots or what have you. And they all have a unique look. They all, like there was one that kind of looked like R2-D2 a little bit. So I spoke with Jake Ebert from Jake's Robotics, and we talked about his Dalek and just kind of some of the work that he does to put these together.
I am here this morning with Jake Ebert from Jake's Robotics, part of Dalek Alley, which is maybe the scariest part of Chicago TARDIS.
Easily.
Jake, how's your con going?
It's going great.
Awesome. So you have built one of these Daleks. This guy right here.
Yes.
Does he have a name?
It is Dave.
Dave. All right. So how long have you been building, like, not just Daleks, but you build other things too, right?
Yeah, I am prop builder and specifically robot builder. I've been building robots for going on probably 10 years now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So how long did it take to build Dave?
Dave is right around a 2.5-2 year build so far.
So far?
So far, yes.
So what kind of additions do you plan to make to Dave?
I plan on finishing up his extra details. Right now he's not exactly fully complete. He still has some slats that need to get painted, some other things that need to get figured out too on him. So he looks mostly assembled, but not fully done yet.
So does he is he able to move or anything like that, or?
Yes, so I built mine so I can both move him from inside and outside, so he's fully radio controlled. So I can both ride him like a go-kart or also operate from the outside.
Awesome. So you can get inside the Dalek.
Yes, you can.
It's a little terrifying.
It is very terrifying.
So we are here at a Doctor Who convention, so it's a mandatory question. Who's your doctor?
Ooh, that's a tough one. 10th, but 11th is really close behind.
I get that feeling, yeah. My top two doctors, it's like it depends on how I wake up that morning.
Very much so,
You know?
yes. Yeah.
So how can people find you online?
Online, I am Jake's Robotics on Instagram.
Awesome. Well, Jake Ebert, Jake's Robotics, thanks for so much for taking time to talk to us. Enjoy the rest of the con.
Thank you, you too.
One of the really cool things about Chicago TARDIS, it takes place at the Chicago Westin in Lombard. And so with, the hotel, the host hotel, also hosting the convention, you will see, some of the celebrities just kind of walking around. And that happened multiple times. Like some of these other bigger cons, you may, accidentally, not accidentally, but like you may, run into one of the celebrities here or there. Years ago, I'm sure you know the story, where we were at Wizard World and shared an elevator with David Krumholtz. That's neither here nor there. But with Chicago TARDIS, we ran into so many of the celebrity guests. I didn't approach them because I'm always of the belief that, these people, when, you just kind of walk past them, they're not on the clock at this point, So as much as I wanted to, say, bump into Joe Martin, which kind of did, we walked past her while she was sitting in the, in the hotel lobby. So as much as I wanted to be like, oh my gosh, you're phenomenal, I didn't. But yeah, so like it's just cool that, there's just that little bit of extra like sense of togetherness, I guess, almost. That just kind of made Chicago TARDIS just feel a little bit more, home. So my last interview is with Nathan Skreslet, who is with Pixel Who. They do like 8-bit artwork of not just Doctor Who, but of a lot of other different fandoms. This was probably one of my favorite booths. I am always a sucker for wall art. I have too many pictures that are framed and want to be hung up, but there's just not the wall space for it. And I have kind of gotten away from buying wall art for that very reason, but I had to make an exception for Pixel Who.
I am here with Nathan Skreslet. Yes. With Pixel Who. Nathan, how is your con going so far?
Oh, real well. Yeah, we always enjoy Chicago. We've been doing this show about 10 years now, I think.
Oh, wow. Nice. So tell us a little bit about what you do.
Well, we do original 8-bit artwork. We started out doing only Doctor Who stuff, but we've since branched out into other franchises we enjoy. The ironic thing is we do sort of video game art style for non-video game properties. Yeah.
Nice. And then, so you said you've been coming here for about 10 years. How long have you been doing this in general?
Since about 2011, 2010, something like that. Yeah.
Okay, nice. So yeah, you started off with Doctor Who. You've got other fandoms. Tell us about some of the other fandoms that you've done so far.
Oh, yeah, let's see. We also do stuff related to Star Wars, Star Trek, Harry Potter, Disney, Robotech, variety of things. Oh, Firefly, you know.
Very nice. So how long does it, and obviously it's going to vary a little bit depending on what you're doing, but like on average, how long does it usually take to put some of these together?
It can be very time consuming. I have to place basically every pixel individually by hand, even though it's digital work. It's very laborious, but it's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun with it. Each character can take maybe, I don't know, 20 to 30 minutes, depending on complexity. Some of the larger items, since we do everything roughly to scale, can be a couple of days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And some of these larger posters can take months.
Nice. Yeah. So we are at Chicago TARDIS, so I have to ask, who's your doctor?
My personal favorite is the 7th Doctor, Sylvester, because he's the first one I saw when I was about 8 years old, and that sticks with you.
It does stick with you. And, we've done a couple of these interviews today. You're the first one to throw in a classic Who, so, congrats to you.
I've been watching since, late 80s. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. So how can people find you online?
We're at pixelwho.com. That's our sort of shop page, but we're also on, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, but less so these days.
Yeah, fair enough. So, Nathan, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. Enjoy the rest of your con.
Thank you very much.
And that wraps up our visit to Chicago TARDIS. This was a super fun weekend, one that definitely looking forward to for next year and years to come. This was the 25th anniversary for Chicago TARDIS, and from the looks of it, it looks like there will be at least 25 more. Here's hoping to that. But yeah, if this, if you are a Whovian at all, this is definitely a convention for you. Everybody was super chill, super welcoming. They pride themselves on being, a very inclusive convention, and they live up to it. It's such a great time. But that's going to do it for this special episode. We're going to be dropping this at kind of a weird time, like at the end of December, it's kind of like, especially between Christmas and New Year's, it's always like that, I don't know what day it is, type of situation. So whenever you're listening to this, if it's still during the holiday season, happy holidays. If it's not, happy Tuesday or whatever. But with that, we'll catch you later.
That's going to do it for this episode of The Geek Awakens. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, shoot us an email at thegeekawakenspodcast@gmail.com.
It would be a shame if you didn't follow us on Facebook and Instagram at The Geek Awakens Podcast, or on Twitter at Geek Awakens.
Theme music created and produced by E. Cannon Beats.
Our logo was designed by Shay McCain.
Thanks for listening. We'll catch you next time. We're boldly gone.